this computer, and we're going to go ahead and go through this. So as we get into this right now, most of you guys are here. Now tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be, last week what we did is we did a free form house, okay? Basically what you guys did is you just had very limited parameters for drawing something. Did anyone get a chance to complete that? Well, I should say, okay, did anyone enjoy the process of drawing that house?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a yes. Okay.
it was a lot easier since I got to download it this week.
Details, but yeah, you gotta download it. And so once you get it downloaded, it can be pretty fun. It's a great application. It's a lot of fun. And I think there was one other person who was having an issue, and I referred them to the video that we went through. So if you can't get it installed, that's a problem at this point because you have to have it installed. I think I'm going to assume you guys all have it installed. If you don't, we can talk and do a Zoom. I was able to help at least one student get installed, and so if we go through this, if you're having issues, let me know. We can definitely go through that. But
Professor?
anyway, yeah.
Sorry, I have a quick question. So for AutoCAD, I had to uninstall it off of my computer because I just didn't have any free space left, and my computer was actually like freezing up on me. But it's fine now. But will we need AutoCAD like coming up?
No, you shouldn't need it anymore. No.
Okay.
And so you should be fine. And we'll be doing primarily Revit, so you should be good to go. Good question. So other than that, I thought that was a good exercise. Last semester, I did the same thing, and the reason I did that is my son, my youngest son. I've actually got two sons that are natural born and one that I adopted. Well, he used to be an employee of mine, and we adopted each other. He said, hey, Tom, I kind of think of you as a father. Would you mind if I called you Dad? And I said, well, Stephen, I kind of think of you like a son, so I think that's going to be okay. So we adopted each other. Informal, but that's how it worked. And you kind of pick people up as you go along in life sometimes, and that's what happened to me. So anyway, so Stephen's my other son. So I got John, I got Joe, and Joe's my youngest. And Joe, when he was in high school, one of the things he did, you might have heard of this thing called Project Lead the Way. Has anyone been in Project Lead the Way?
Yeah, I think I did a couple things for it.
Yeah, well, Project Lead the Way was kind of like an engineering, kind of a STEM program for high school students. And they would teach you AutoCAD and Revit and some basics of engineering. So does that sound about right, Nathan?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, yeah. So my son was in that, and they showed him Revit, and he liked Revit a whole lot more than AutoCAD. And so their project was actually do a custom house. And he was saying, oh, Dad, I love that project. And so I decided after a few semesters of teaching, I said, you know what, I'm just going to let you guys have a shot at it. Just let them go ahead and do what they want to do and have fun with this. So hopefully it was fun for you. Now, as we get into this right now, the fun continues. And what we're going to do is we're going to, and I mean that, I really do mean that. I'm being, I'm being humorous, but it actually is a fun thing. What we're going to be doing now is we're actually going to be taking a project that we did in AutoCAD, and we're going to put it into Revit. Well, how do we do that? Well, that's what we're going to find out. So the reason why we're going to do this right now is because very often in the real world out there, when people are working with AutoCAD or Revit in their architectural office or whatever, a lot of companies are moving from the AutoCAD world to Revit. I don't know, is anyone aware of that right there? Is that new to you guys, or is that something some of you guys are familiar with?
No clue. Yeah, I'm not really in the industry, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what's going on. Is in the world out there, people are moving from AutoCAD to Revit. And it's a difficult conversion. It's not easy. The adaptive son I talked about, he's actually a BIM manager. He's a BIM, like a Revit manager for this local company, CPL, Clark Patterson Lee. And so he's their main guy. He's like their CIO. And so anyway, so because of that, he is, I'm going to do this. Okay, so he's their CIO. And so anyway, he's taught me a lot of the stuff that I know. I taught him AutoCAD, and he's basically taught me Revit. So we kind of went back and forth in this whole thing. But one of the things that he said is he's talked about this trend where people are moving from AutoCAD and they're moving to Revit, and they're trying to do it. And so one of his big claims to fame was he used to work for this outfit in Buffalo, Shive Architecture. Maybe you guys heard of it, but it's in Buffalo. And what they did is they actually moved from AutoCAD to Revit, and he was the main guy in charge of it. So anyway, since then, he's had this really good experience, and so that's what he's been doing. So anyway, that conversion is something that I'm very aware is something that is really very helpful. So as you're, I should say, it's something that's very, it's not helpful, but it's something that's essential. Because as companies want to be competitive and as they want to be able to be on the cutting edge and they want to save time, Revit's the way to go. So now with your foundation in AutoCAD, we're going to move into Revit. So what happens is out there in the real world again, what happens is people have an investment in AutoCAD drawings. Everyone's got AutoCAD. Everybody and their brother has AutoCAD. They all do. And what they do is they draw their plans in AutoCAD. They may draw their floor plans in AutoCAD, their elevations in AutoCAD, foundation plans, all that's in AutoCAD. Or some of it's in AutoCAD and they want to pull into Revit. Well, that's what we're going to see right now, because when you have an investment in an AutoCAD drawing, you can pull it into Revit. You just have to know how. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see how to do that right now. So let's talk about that. So right now I'm recording this, good to go, and we're going to do that. By the way, hi Brooke, good to have you here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have this this cup right here. Anyone notice what's on there? Anyone see that right there?
Musical notes.
It's the Guinness toucan. The Guinness toucan. Okay, if you weren't aware, Guinness actually had this advertising thing where they actually had the toucan. Anyway, big thing about Ireland is Guinness is good for you. But anyway, my wife, I'm drinking tea. I'm not drinking Guinness, but the thing is, I have this tea and I got this little teapot. I was talking about how I drink tea. So when it's later in the day, I drink tea. Earlier in the day, I drink coffee. So I'm drinking tea right now and I'm enjoying it with my fashionable green teapot. So my wife gave me a nice little tea service here. So that's what's going on with me. I hope you guys are enjoying something that you're enjoying too. And that's all good. So anyway, here we are. And we are going to go ahead and jump in and do some CAD work here. And we're going to
Professor?
Yeah.
So one thing that I couldn't figure out all week was how to change the like the type of the exterior wall from the interior wall, and I wasn't able to get any type of like roofing design on my roof.
Okay, when you say roofing design, do you mean a pattern?
Like the shingles? I wasn't able to figure out how to do that.
Okay. Did you go back over the video?
Yeah, I still couldn't figure out how to do it.
Okay, that's fine. So two things. Number one is the surface of your particular structure was not revealing the actual outside, right? It was reversed. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that?
Okay. Are you saying that you could not see the pattern of what you were drawing? Like in other words, you wanted to have a pattern and there wasn't? Is that what you're saying?
No, I couldn't figure out how to, because I kind of had like the, like the basic, like just, smooth, but I didn't have a way, I couldn't figure out a way to put the hatching on the roof. So I kind of just had the generic smooth top.
Okay.
That's, roof line.
Let me show you that. That's a great question. Okay, so that's a great place to start. So I've got this right here. I drew this earlier, and what I will do is I'll leave this one right here. We'll be getting to that later. But I'm just going to go here with a file and new. And I don't need to save that. I'm just going to open up an imperial architectural project right here. So I'll jump into here. Now, when I jump into here, what you want to do is whenever you're working with Revit is you want to be mindful of whatever wall you're using, because typically walls are analogous to lines. It's your line work. And so essentially you want to be aware of that. So let's take a look at this. If you go to wall right here, I click on a wall, and what I've got here is it says basic wall generic. There is no patterning on that at all. There's nothing to it. There's no texture. That's a basic wall. There's nothing fancy about it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, because there's nothing fancy about it, what we do right here is if I draw this, it's just going to be gray. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw this up to level 2. Now, I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll show you how I fix it. And so I'll do this. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'll go here, and I'll just go ahead and do that. And once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and make this 30 by 30. Why? Just to be consistent, because I like to pick the same number over and over again. So I got that. I hit my escape key. Now let's take a look at it in 3D. I go to here, and this is what it looks like in 3D. So as you can see that right there, it is just a plain gray box. And if I go here and put any shading on it, if I shade it, that's all you get. If I go here again and go to consistent colors, it doesn't give you anything more. If I go to realistic, there's still nothing. So there really isn't much going on with it. Why? It's basically like a generic gray material, all right? It's for doing basic modeling without committing to anything, all right? So here's what you would do. First of all, when you're working with Revit, everything in Revit has properties, just like in AutoCAD. So watch how this works. I'm going to click on this wall right here. I'm going to click on that wall right here. And what I can do over here, you'll notice it says basic wall generic. See this right up here? I can change this by clicking here and choosing a different kind of wall. I could go down here and choose any of these. I've got this generic 4-inch brick. Let's give that a shot, see what happens. So I click on generic 4-inch brick and it just changed. You can see it right there. The pattern's now different. See that? There's a little dashing right there. So let's see what it looks like when I go to 3D. And if I take a look at that, okay, looks about the same. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, yeah, the reason why it's doing that. Well, let me go to here. I'll go to here and it'll show up. There's something wrong with my material, so let me fix it real quickly here. When you're working with Revit, I actually went through something and I changed my materials, which at this point I don't recommend. But whenever I get into this, I actually assign my brick to be a different kind of a value because I was trying to do something for a customer. Anyway, what I've got to do right here is I actually have to find this particular file. Okay, so what you can do is you can associate different kinds of materials with your different Revit wall types. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use brick, and I want to use brick. I can use brick, and what I want is brick running bond. Let's see here, brick running bond. Okay, and then I've got different. It's not actually right here, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to change my material to mats. I'm going to go up here to. Let's try mats 3. And here I've got these materials, and I'm going to go out here to brick running bond. If I can find that, where is brick? Is it there? Brick running bond. Darker. Okay, I'm missing some stuff here. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, this is.
Does Revit come with these or these
Yeah,
things?
yeah, it does. This comes with Revit. And so the thing is, you have this right here, which is pretty cool. And so I'm just going to try this one more time. It's out here, and this is material you have out there. So I can assign anything to it. I could give it beech wood. I mean, I could. Let's just go ahead and make it kind of fancy. What the heck? Let's go ahead and do some wood right here. And I'll do this. Hit apply. Hit OK. And bada bang, bada boom. You know, you got that right there. Kind of cool, huh? So you can actually use these different materials. Okay, what I just did there is I just used this kind of beech wood right there, and you zoom into it, it gives you that. It gives you pretty nice resolution. Okay, so you got that right there. So that is what I could do if I wanted it to be realistic, which I just did. And so that is what I could do right there. Now, at this point, that's brick, so I probably don't want to use wood. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to something different. I want to use brick running bond. And there's a brick running bond right here somewhere. Come on, you got to be here somewhere. Brick running, and then I could use a few different ones out here. I think it's probably in one, because there's different items out here. Let me go back out here, brick running bond. If it's not here, I'm just going to pick something. I don't want to spend too much time on this. It's almost like it's disappeared. Don't know where it went to, but that's okay. I'll just use this brick running bond. This will work, and I'll hit open, and I'll hit apply and hit OK. I kind of like that pattern anyway, and it looks like that there. Okay, a perfectly respectable brick pattern. Okay, so now at that point, now that I've done that, I can just do it with the others. How did I do that? Well, if I go back to here, I can select the other walls. Just grab these. And what am I going to do? I'm going to change this to what did we say that was? We said it was generic 4-inch brick. So we do that. Let's take a look at it, and boom, you got that. Does that help as far as putting patterns on there, James?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
But how would you do the same thing for the roof?
For the roof, yeah, the roof. Let me show you this. So I'm going to go back to here. I'll show you how to do the roof. So first of all, let's go back to this. To make a roof, we go back to level 1. You always going to draw your roof from your top view. I'm going to go roof by footprint. It's going to say, do you want to put it on level 2? Yes, I do. And now I'm going to go ahead and give it an overhang of 1 for 1 foot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I'll just go ahead and use, yeah, I can do this. That's good. And I'll just go ahead and go around here and go ahead and do that and hit my green check mark. And then at that point, it looks like that. And that's the look I don't really like so much. Okay, it doesn't really give me too much. So what you would want to do right here is I'm going to do one more thing just to get so you guys are clear about it. To modify my roof, I can click on it, and then I can choose this edit footprint. Now I'm on level 2 because when you're building in Revit, you have to be aware of what level you're on. Level 1 is my first floor. Level 2 would be my roof because there's nothing else there. So I'm on level 2 right now. And when I click on the roof, it gives me the option of editing the footprint. And when I start to edit the footprint, it gives me the familiar magenta line. So I can click on this magenta line, and I can uncheck the defined slope on one side. and repeat it for the other side. So it gives me just a standard gable roof. So that's the first step. So now that I've got that, it looks like this. And we talked about this. And when I have this roof right here, I can select the roof. And when I select the roof, I can then select not also with that a roof pitch. Your roof pitch is defined. If you're not familiar with how roofs are defined, roofs are defined with what is called let's rise to run. Rise to run. In other words, it basically is like a fraction. So how many inches, or how many inches over a foot? Okay, how many inches does it rise over a foot? If it's 12 inches over a foot, that's 12. That's a 12 roof pitch. That's a 45-degree angle. That's quite steep. That's not common. But if you do something more like this is more like you'd see in most suburban neighborhoods, most construction in general. Although you do, in some instances, want to have a steeper roof pitch in Rochester because it's kind of a snowy area. So we'll just say 5. We'll say 512 and hit a flag. Now that's more like what you'd see as far as a roof pitch. Now this is going to be reviewed, but if you want your walls to touch your roof, you would click on one of the walls. And when you click on one of the walls, you get this wonderful option up here to attach the top. So I choose attach top. It asks me what do I want to attach it to. It's the roof. And so it does that. Goes ahead and stretches that straight up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And I'll click on this. And I'll do the same thing, attach top. And go to there. Now, to get your question was, how do I put some kind of a pattern on here? Well, you click on the roof just like we did before, just like we did for the walls. I can go here and you look, I've got this wood rafter, 8-inch asphalt shingle insulated, okay? So I'm gonna click on that and it looks like this here. Now, yours will actually have asphalt shingles on there. Mine does not because I screwed off my materials. But if I click on this I'll fix the materials right now just so you guys can see it. Because the materials, if I click on this right here, you're not gonna have to do this. I'm just doing this so you guys can see it, okay? But if I go into here, it tells me right here what these objects are. And I've got an asphalt shingle right here. The asphalt shingle's right there. So what I would do is at this point, you won't have to do this. Once you do this change, you will be seeing the asphalt shingles. But I'm just going to go ahead and update these so you see them. So for me to do this, I'm just going to go out here. I'm going to manage my materials and I'm going to go ahead and give myself some kind of a asphalt shingle. So go to my asphalt shingle, appearance, and then I'm going to go out here and for some reason they're not showing up. So I'll just have to redefine them. And I'll just say asphalt shingles right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. All right, got that, asphalt shingles. And then what I'll do is, in addition to that, I'll click on here. And I'll make that a 10-foot by 10-foot area. And for my scale, I'll make it 10 foot by 10 foot. All right. All right, 10 foot by 10 foot. All right, and this is just to kind of like catch this all up. So 10 foot like that. And then I'll go ahead and click done and hit apply and hit OK. And again, you won't have to do this, but that's all you have to do to make the shingle show up. Does that help there, James?
I just tried it and mine just comes out as a gray square.
Okay.
Like a flat gray roof.
Okay. Did you go up here and change this to realistic?
Maybe not.
Try that.
I did the thing with the materials, but it didn't apply it to the
Yeah.
roof.
All right. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah, don't mess with your materials right now, guys. I just to be clear, I said I'm doing this to my machine because my machine's messed up. Yours will not be this way. Now, let me just kind of back up right now. I don't know what you guys are doing right now, but if you use the templates I gave you, you won't have these problems, okay? Because they're going to show up without a problem because I've already defined those. But again, this is machine specific. But if I go here and go to consistent colors, it looks like that. That's what that looks like, okay, without that. So essentially, these different items right here, you got hidden line, that's your basics right there. And then right here, you go to shaded, it gives you a little bit more. I go to consistent colors, does that. And then when I go to realistic, that's where I get that right there. Okay, does that help, James? No help, no luck there?
So I have shingles, except they're white.
Okay, well, yeah, let's not worry about it for right now. You could get it,
Okay.
change those, but for right now, that's fine for what you have right now. That's fine, okay? That's getting into more or less cosmetics, but as long as you're getting a shingle and it's showing up, you're good to go, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, because your question was, how do you put on a material? That's the question I'm answering. The secondary question about how they look, that's something we could look at later. That should be addressed by the template I give you. So we should be okay there. But anyway, that is how we do that. So the question about how do I change a wall's appearance? We answered that. I answered that by showing you go to edit type and you select the type. And then you shouldn't have to go in and mess around with your materials at all. Let me back up and say that again. You don't have to mess with your materials at all. You shouldn't have to. They should already be there. Okay. That's just something I'm doing right now because, like I said, I was doing a customized thing for a customer, and my materials are kind of screwed up right now, and I've been trying to reinstall it, and I've not been able to get it to back to my original library. So I have to tweak these. It's not a huge deal, but it's a little bit annoying. So that's where we have that. Okay, so that's what that looks like right there. So we're seeing how to work with Revit, and that's the first thing we have right there. Before I move on, were there any other questions about the assignment we did last week? Okay, great. Then what we're going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys how to do the project that we actually have done before. So I'm going to open up AutoCAD right here. And this should be familiar to you because we drew this about a month and a half ago. This was floor plan 1. Floor plan 1 was a plan that we did in AutoCAD. And when we did it in AutoCAD, it's a 35-foot by 25-foot structure with a small porch area around the front. And then besides that, we've actually got all the doors that are in here. And then it's got some windows and it's got all the dimensions in here. You guys remember this one?
I still see Revit.
You still see Revit. Okay, let me go back to here. Okay, you shouldn't be, but let me fix it. If you're seeing Revit, then that's not what you're supposed to be seeing. So go back to here. Let me try this. All right. How about now?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. This is the plan that we did in AutoCAD. You guys remember this one?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, great. All right. Let me do something real quickly here. Is Josh Greenman here? I don't see Josh. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Okay, good. All right, good. So what we got right here, this is one that we worked out. We did this in AutoCAD. Now what we're going to do is we're going to import this into Revit. Why are we going to import it into Revit? Because this is a common thing that very often you have to do when you're working with projects in Revit. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this, and this is going to be the assignment. The assignment is to submit the project that I'm going to show you, and you're going to submit it in Revit. So let me just go ahead and show you what it's going to look like when we're done. All right, so I'm going to go to here, and this is the one I just designed. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'll call it Brick Beauty. What the heck? Why not? And I'll call this one Brick Beauty. All right. ICK. All right, like that. Okay, so I got that. I'm going to close out of it. So I got that, and File, Close. And this brings me back to the other project I was working on earlier. All right. Now here's the project you're going to be working on. Okay, this is what you're going to draw. This is what the project in AutoCAD looks like in 3D. Let me show you what I mean by this. If you go to AutoCAD, it looks like this. These are your dimensions right here, and this is your projection in the front. And you've got a 5-foot window here and a 5-foot window here. And if I go back to Revit, well, looky, it's the same thing. That's what you're going to draw. Okay. So you're going to be drawing the exact same thing in Revit that you did in AutoCAD. And it's a pretty simple building. So this one won't be terrible, but it's something that you want to take your time with. Okay, now this one right here, I've actually got some wood. I essentially just use like kind of a exterior, what's that called? T11 on the outside of buildings. Is that what they call it? T11 when you actually have
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So that's like T11. Then it's got asphalt shingles. Okay, as far as that goes. This is what you have. Now let me show you something cool here. I'm gonna go to level 1. Now when you go to level 1, take a look at that. Okay. What you're seeing right there are actually right there. You're actually seeing right there is a CAD floor plan. And the CAD floor plan is in place. And then I've actually got this door right here and this door right here. They're actually placed. I didn't do all of them, but I just kind of want to show you guys a basic idea as far as how this works. So this is what this looks like when you do it in Revit. Okay, well, this one actually has 2 foot 4, so that's not good. I'll actually pull the other one in. So as far as that goes, I may have to change that around a little bit, but that's okay. We can do that. Yes, we can. So that should be good. I might actually have to do one thing with this, so we'll figure that out. Okay, and so this is what we have right here. This is what we got in place. Now, the only thing I think I might do differently is I can let you guys put in all 3-foot doors. That would be the only thing. Because I don't want to make you put in all these other dimensions right here because they're not available. Well, maybe I will. We'll see. So anyway, this is what it's going to look like. And then when you're done with it, it looks like this here. Okay, that's what you want to make. And then when you're done with it, you can take it and rotate it around and see the bottom of it and so forth. And that's how we go ahead and make that work. So we have that right there. So that's all cool. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take this, I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this. I'm going to see if this is the right one or not. So let me go out here real quickly here. Out to Blackboard. So out here to Blackboard, let's take a look at what I have out here. I want to just check something. I may have to swap something out here real quickly because I updated these some time ago, but I'm not sure if everything I updated is there. So here is weeks 9 and 10. We're in week 10. And week 10, this is where you uploaded your Revit practice basic house, okay? And then we went over last week an intro to BIM and Revit quiz. Now I've got this Revit floor one plan template, and then I've got this Revit floor plan right here. I've got this, that's where I'm gonna upload it. And then I got this CAD floor plan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download this CAD floor plan right there. And it's called floor plan 1. I'm gonna take a look at that, see if it's the right one. If it's not, I will update it, which is fine. So it's called floor plan 1, and I just went ahead and downloaded it. I want to make sure you guys have the most recent one because I don't want you guys to have a tough time with that. So we're gonna go here, and I'm gonna go to let's go to open, and I'm gonna go to my downloads. Okay, and there's floor plan 1. Let's see what that looks like. Hopefully it's the right one. Oh, really? Okay, it's not. Okay, it's not the right one. Okay, so I'm gonna have to save this. Okay, see, this one doesn't have the correct values. Okay, so I'm gonna change this out. So let me kill this one. I'll save the other one. Save changes. No. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this one. This one is floor plan 1 master 2020. I'm gonna use this one. So I'm gonna upload this. So floor plan 1 master. I'm gonna save it as. And where is that located? It's in CAD Construction 2021. Okay, that's fine. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close out of this, and the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys how I update content in Blackboard. Okay, you're going to love it. It's so fascinating. Okay, he said. All right, and so going right here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I manipulate this content. So I go out here, and this is my out here. What I want to do is I want to change this one. So this CAD floor plan 1, I want to change it. So I go to here, and I'm going to go to edit. So to edit it, it asks me, okay, what is the file you want? So I'm going to select a different file, browse my computer, and this is actually located, I keep this out here on my hard drive under D, and then I've got down here, I got Monroe Community College. Let's see here, should be out here, Monroe Community College, somewhere out here. Okay, all these other customers. And then I got CIT 1 and 2, and then I've got okay, I think it's right out here, CAD Construction right here, and then floor plan 1 master, that's it right there. So floor plan 1 master 2020, I'm going to hit open, and it's going to go ahead and put it in there, and I'm going to call this one, oh, what should I call it? I will call it CAD floor plan 1 Revit insert. Okay, so that's really clear. So you're going to insert this with Revit. So, and what the heck, I'll make it a different color. Why not? I'll go ahead and make it a pleasing shade of blue. Okay, we'll hit blue. All right, so I'll go ahead and submit it. Okay, so once I've done that, it's going to go ahead and it crunches, and then this is right here. It's in the blue. So that's the one you are going to download. Okay, so you want to take this, you want to download it. So that's the first step. So we hit there, download it. And I'll just go here first of all. Click on there, and it downloads. Okay, so there it is, floor plan 1 master. That's what you're going to use. So now that I've got that, I go to Revit, and I'm going to close out of this one. Actually, I'll leave this one up there because I'm going to need to refer to it. And I'm going to go to File, and then New. And when you go to New, you're always going to use the Imperial Architectural Template. You're always going to use the Imperial Architectural Template. Don't use the construction. It's not bad. It's just going to give you more than you need to deal with. So go ahead and click there. So you want to use imperial architectural template. Did I mention you have to use the imperial architectural template? Okay, what's going to happen is some of you are going to use the imperial construction template, and then you'll be asking me why it doesn't look right. That's how it goes. So I click on OK. All right, so I click on OK. And once I've done that, I get this blank area right here. That's what I've got right now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in, I'm going to insert my, my CAD file. So how do I do that? Well, when you're working with Revit, there are all these tools that you can use, okay? And the tools that you can work with actually are located on the, right up here on the ribbon. And what I want to do right here is I want to choose Insert. So I click on Insert, and when I click on Insert, I actually have the ability of doing different things. Now check this out. I can link Revit files, industry foundation classes. I can link a CAD file, topography, DWIFs, decals, point clouds, coordination models, PDFs, images, manage links. I can import CAD and so forth. So there's all these different things I can do. I'm going to go right here and I am going to use this, which is actually called Link CAD. So I'm going to go to Link CAD. So I click on Link CAD and it's going to give me this right here. So what do I want? I want to go out to my computer and I'm going to go to my downloads. All right, my downloads, and the one I had here is Floor Plan 1 Master. That's the one I want. I hit open and boom, there it is right there. I've got it. Now, here's one thing I want to show you. Once it comes in right now, when I click on it, let me show you something interesting. I click on it, you see this pin icon? It's got this tap right here. What that does is that prevents me from moving it. So if you want to move it around, you have to unpin it. To unpin it, you click on the pin. You click on the pin, and now you see that the icon shows it's unpinned. Now I just move it. I can center it over a little bit and move it to where I want to because it's right dead in the center. And that's not something you have to do. It's just something that you can do. And then when you're done with it, you can pin it back. Click on this and you pin it back in. So that keeps it from moving. And that's kind of a helpful thing to do. So that's pinning and unpinning. Now here is the project right here. This is what you got right here. So you got these different walls. It's all in place. Now this is pretty straightforward right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to trace over the top of it. Pretty easy to do, really. So you go ahead and go to here. What we're going to do is go to architecture. And what we're going to do is we're then going to go to wall. And then what we're going to do is go here and go to wall architectural. Now, what kind of wall do I want to use? Well, we talked about this before. And looks like I didn't use the right template after all that talk, after all that discussion. Because I actually saved with you guys. Yeah, I got to download my own template. So let me go ahead and back out here and download my template. So let me do this. So you're going to download your template out to here. And I actually have it, which is out here under Revit Floor Plan right here. And I actually have this. I should have downloaded this before. It's called Revit Floor Plan 1 Template. I'm going to click there and it downloads it. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to close out of this project because I photoed it. So we'll go ahead and go here, close out of here. And everything I showed you, I'm just going to repeat it now with a different template. Do you want to save changes? No. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this one up. I'm going to go to File, New. And this template, I'm going to browse for, okay? If I'm starting it and I don't know what else to use, I would use the Imperial Architectural. But in this case, the professor gave you one. So you're going to browse out to that one. You want to download the template, and this one's going to be out on the computer under downloads. And it is this one, Revit full, let's see here, which one is it? Let's go ahead and find that. Let's go ahead and change my view here. Why is my view so screwy? Let's see here. Why is that? Let's see here. It's not that. It was downloaded today. So what do we got here? Revit Floor Plan 1 Template. Yeah, that's it. Revit Floor Plan 1 Template. That's it. So that's the first one. So I'll go ahead and use Revit Floor Plan 1 Template. And I'll hit OK. And it's got to upgrade it. That's fine. Should be OK. And yeah. OK, so we've got that. Okay, now once I've done this, it pulls this open. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. So now I'm in here. It gives me a few different settings, and it's going to give me the wall, hopefully. See right here. Yep, that's the wall I want to use, so that's good. So what I'm going to do first of all is go to my insert again, and I'm going to go to my link CAD. So link CAD, same thing I did before, Floor Plan 1, Master 2020. And this is where I could change some of the different things in here. I could go ahead and say I want to change some things here. I want to maybe I want to use the current view only. That's what I want to do. So I want to use current view only. That's an important thing. So I want to link this, go to current view only. I'm going to preserve the colors so I can see them. I'm going to click on open. And there it is again. Okay, so now that I've got this, I click on it. And when I've got that, I click on it and I can unpin it and I can move it to the center, the exact center, and just kind of put it right there and then pin it again by clicking on it. And now it's pinned in position. Okay, now
What's
we're
the
back.
point of moving it to the center?
Just because there's no real advantage to it, it just orients you a little bit better. That's all. And so you see the elevation markers on the side. When you're working with this right now, it's always good to have the elevation markers looking straight at the actual center of your particular structure if you can. You don't have to. It's just something I do because I guess I'm being a little bit of a neat freak about that. But you don't have to do it, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, it won't necessarily change one thing one way or the other. Okay, so now that I have this right here, let me get into it. So I go to architecture, and what I want to do right now is I'm going to go to wall. And now what I want to do is I want to draw my walls here. So I go to wall architecture, and what I want to do right now is I want to say up to level 2, which is already set for that. It's basic wall interior. That's the one you want to use. So what I'm going to do right now is I got wall center line. I've got these different, so let's see how this works just by using wall center line. I think this will work, or maybe it won't. Looks like it might work. Yeah, right here. You see it's finding the wall center line right here. So you kind of hover right here. You can also use this one right here, which would be the finished face exterior. When I do this, it finds this. So either way, it's going to work. So see, it's drawing in here right now. So I go ahead and just trace over it. It's actually pretty easy when I do it this way. So I'm just tracing over the top of it like this. And I'm going right around here. It's pretty straightforward. And I go right through the doors. I don't stop for the doors or the windows. I go right through them. And what I'm doing right now is I'm very quickly tracing this pattern instead of kind of like, oops, looks like I missed that one by a little bit. Yeah, so to do that, can I right click and undo? Let's see here, Control Z, will that work? No, okay, didn't like that, okay. So let me go ahead and get rid of that one. And I'll continue on with my wall by going from here. All right, we'll go from here right over here, and we'll go ahead and stop there. And then we'll go ahead and finish it going over to here. By the way, all the walls are 5 inches. That's okay. So we'll go ahead and drag this right through, and we'll go ahead and stop it there. All right, now once I've done that, it looks like this. Okay, that's what I've got in my top-down view. Now let me take a look at it in 3D and see what we got so far. So I go there, and boom, that's what I have right there. So then I can rotate it around and see what I have right there. And again, because of what I've done with my materials, it's screwing me up. Again, you won't have to do this. So I'm going to go to manage, and I'm going to go manage right here and go to my materials. And I'm going to go from the, what is that, the wood? I think that's wood. So let me go ahead and just check this out real quickly here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just not even going to worry about that. I'm just going to use this consistent colors. And let's see here. So how do we have this? Base interior wall. Okay, I'm going to go here, and what I'm going to do is I will do this, and basic. Oh, I use the interior wall. That's why. Okay, I use the interior wall. Okay, my bad. So I use the basic interior wall. That's why I didn't use the exterior wall. So, all right, if that happens to you, then that's a mistake right there. What I did right there is I drew this up using basically interior walls, and I want to use exterior walls. Okay, which is actually. I've got a basic exterior wall up here too. Exterior wall 5 inches, which is right there. Okay, so if that happens, I can actually fix it. I could redraw it, which would only take a second. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and redraw it. So what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna grab these, and I'm gonna grab all that and delete it. And I'll try that again. It's probably not a bad idea anyway to repeat this. So now what I'm gonna do is back to architecture and the wall, and that was my bad, sorry about that. But instead of being interior wall, I should have caught that. You want to use you should use an exterior wall. So I got exterior wall right here. It says exterior wall 5 inches. That's what I want. So now this one, I'm going to do the same thing I did before. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm pulling it along. And now here we go. Let's try this again. See if we do better this time. We should. And yes, a little bit of stop and start here. I do apologize for that. And I've been teaching all day. I guess I'm getting a little bit, might be getting a little bit frazzled, so I apologize. And kind of jumping through some things a little too quickly. So oh, it looks like I missed one there. All right, but okay, let's see. All right, let's see. Control Z. All right, let's do, okay, missed that one there. All right, yeah, so that looks good. So I'm going to thin my lines out here because my lines aren't looking so good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm just going to go ahead and adjust that so it sits on top of that better. And that looks good now. And so that's all there. I continue doing this right now with my walls. Okay. By the way, the tool that I just clicked on there was thin lines right here. It's right up here. You can click on this at any time. It thickens your wall. If you turn it off, it gives you thick lines. You turn it, you click it again, it thins your lines out. So that's just something that you could do. So go to here, and I'm going to continue on here using my thin lines. And this makes it a little bit easier to pick these. So this is something you would probably want to use. And going right around here, and we should be good. And I'll go ahead and finish this by going down to here and clicking there. Okay, so we got that. Okay, now let me take a look at in 3D, see what we got. Now that looks a whole lot better. Now what that's giving me right now is it's giving me an exterior sheathing, my T11, of which I spoke earlier, and that's what it should look like. So I apologize for the stutter stuff. But anyway, that shows you what you do. So once you got that, that's in 3D. That's your basic shell. Now the other thing you would do is then you would switch to your interior wall. So you go to wall, and you go to wall architectural, and you can guess what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go down to wall interior, okay, and it's interior, where is it now? Interior wall, down here. Yeah, it's called interior wall 5-inch. Mine have that kind of character to them, so I've got that. So what I've got right now, I'm going to change this from finished base exterior to wall centerline because it's a little bit easier to work with here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from here and right to here, and then go to the center line here. And this is actually pretty cool here. I'm able to just kind of trace around here really kind of nicely. And here to here, and here to here. It couldn't be any easier. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go from here on up. And this is why I have you doing it this way, because it's going to give you confidence in getting this drawn by using your CAD plan as a base as the basis for this. Okay, so then I'm going to go from here, right from here on up, here, and then to here, and then over. All right, and so then we got that. And then I'm going to finish this down here. So this one, I go here. I'm going. You can use center lines for all of them. I'm just trying to, give you guys some idea as far as how this all works. So once I got that all together, let me take a look at it in 3D and see what we got there. Boom! Look at that. So what you got right there are these really nice items right here, and you now have your floor shell put together. You got your interior walls there. Pretty easy to do. And let me see if we go to, let's see if it looks better when I go realistic or not. Yeah, that's better. So that's your realistic right there. That's what you got. That's what the view you have right there. And that gives us a real good idea. Starts to inspire some confidence. So this is going to look like something. So we got that there. So now that we've done that, the next thing we want to do is put in our doors. Now, I went ahead and made them all 3-foot doors. So to put in your doors, you go to door and single flush 30 by 80. Well, you don't want 30 because all of them are 36 inches. So we use 36 by 80. And then up here, you'll notice that you got tag on placement. This will tag your doors. We learned about that last week. I'm just going to take this and get as close. And if you can't get close enough, you can zoom in and you're going to put it closely on top of this. If it's not perfect, don't drop it. You can move it later. And that one just gave me number 4. That's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and go through here. I can renumber those later and go through here. And as I'm going through here, what I'm doing is I'm doing this. And I can flip these doors as well. And I can go ahead and just work through here. And this is how I put the doors in here right now. So I'm doing this right now. And that one swung to the outside. So I can just go ahead and click on this little item right here. And it changes the door swing. So there's a lot of flexibility. It's a whole lot easier than doing AutoCAD when it comes specifically to doing buildings. So I go ahead and place my my doors in here. And you'll notice that if you're not on a door, it gives you the universal not allowed symbol, which is the circle with the slash through it. Looks like a diameter symbol. And I go ahead and place it here. And that's what we do there. Okay, now once I've got that, I can go ahead and click on the doors and modify them by just using my arrow keys like that. And now that's right on top of it. And I do that for each one of these just to get them where they look. And it might not be absolutely perfect. Sometimes the door block, there's a slight difference. It's okay, not a problem. And we just go ahead and go through here. And that one looks pretty good already. And we just go ahead and adjust these as needed. And shouldn't take too long to do this. And if we're doing this right now, it's going to go ahead and continue to give us these kind of appearances. And we go ahead and go through this like that. Beautiful. And then we go through this and do this one too. There we go. All right. And this one too. And so this is just using the arrow keys. Okay, now once I've done that, I think I've got them all. Let me take a look at it in 3D and see how that looks. Boom. All right, looking kind of nice there. See that? So now we have our doors. Okay, so we have some doors in place there, and that's looking pretty good. Okay, now that is how we basically start this whole thing. Now the next thing is level 1, going back to here. We're now going to put in the windows. Okay, now the windows you're going to see right here. This says 4 feet, and this is 5 feet, and I can't really see the ends right there because of what? Oh, because I got the doors on top of them. Of course, that's why. But that's okay. We can place them and just move them by their edges. That's not a big deal. We can just go ahead and place them. And that is how we will do that. And then we can kind of like place them, make sure that they are there. And we can go ahead and make that happen. So let's see here. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll go to window. So we'll start with, this is a 60-inch by 36-inch slider window. That's your 5-foot window. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it right over to here. I'm going to drop it right in this location right here. I'm going to center right in this location. All right. And we'll go ahead and drop it. And again, we can always move them around if we need to. So we went ahead and dropped it in there. Perfect. And we'll repeat it over here. And for this one, just get it close. We can move it later as needed. But you got 5 foot, 5 foot. And then over here, you got another 5 foot. And I just go ahead and slide it in position there. And 5 foot, 5 foot, and 4 foot, and then 4. The rest are 4 foot. So once I've got that, I can then use my 4 foot. So I go back and I change my window to 48 by 36 slider window. So I'll go to here and I'll go ahead and bring this right up in here, and I'll go ahead and drop this in place right here like that. And okay, so let's try that. Okay, didn't like that for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we'll continue on. Hopefully that will continue, and I'll go ahead and go through here. All right, I might have put 2 on top of it. That's may have been what I did, I'm not sure. Drop it there, and we'll drop this one here. Okay, so we got that. Zoom it a little bit so you can adjust it like that. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so once we've done that, let's take a look at it in 3D and see what we got. Looking pretty good, guys, looking pretty good. So I've got that. So now I've got this, I got the windows. It is looking prime, okay, looking real good. And then we can readjust the windows later, you know, when we put our dimensions on, okay? So we can do that later, which we will do. But back to level 1. So what else do we need? We got everything in here. We just have these plumbing supplies. So there's a bathtub, a sink, and a toilet. So to do this, I would go over here and I would look in my families. I look at my families over here. Let me show you that again. I went over here in my project browser and I clicked the plus mark on here where it says families. So I click on families, you see this in here. I'm gonna scroll down here, go see plumbing fixtures. And there's my toilet, my tub, and my vanity. So I go to my tub, rectangular 3D, I'm gonna pull that in right to here. So let me look at my choices here. It's probably 1, so go ahead and do that. And I'll go ahead and drag it in. All right, looks like this. Oh, I got to put it on a wall. If it doesn't show up, you got to put it on a wall. It demands wall placement. That's what's called a hosted element. So I just go ahead and drop it there, and there's my tub. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and put in my vanity. Grab my vanity here, and I'll click on that and pull that in here, and I'll go ahead and place it right around here. So that's going to go ahead and go right on the wall there. And you can see there's so many things that Revit does. So now that is not, I think that's reverse. Yeah, it is. So I can hit my space bar and it's going to rotate it. And then I can pull it over like this. So I can go ahead and do that. Looking good. So I got that. Last thing is going to be the toilet. So I go down here and choose toilet domestic. Click on that, pull it in here, and I go ahead and place it. All right, and that's hitting my space bar. Hitting the space bar lets me rotate it. I can go ahead and put the toilet right like that. Okay, now when I've done that, if I want to see what this looks like, I can actually do this. I can actually go here and put in a camera view. I can go here and say, let's take a look at it. So the camera, and I'll go ahead and, I got a wall in the way here, but I'll go ahead and go in the doorway. I'll click here and kind of look through here and see what it looks like. All right, now there, I'm so close in, it's having a tough time seeing it, but that's okay. I can open it up and see if I can't see a little bit better. And let's see if it's going to let me do that. You have to pull it down a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's the view. So what I'm seeing right here is I pull that down, I can see these different items. And I can see that, yep, my bathroom is now filled with items right there. That's what we got right there. And then if I wanted to see it in a little more detail, I go to realistic. And it's going to shade that. Now I see, okay, it's a little intense, but that shows you what you got right there. And that's
how did you do the camera view again?
What I did for camera view is I went up here where the 3D view is right here and camera's right underneath it. Okay,
Yeah.
and to invoke that, you've got to be here on level 1. Okay, it was grayed out in the other view, so you have to be actually on level 1 or on a plan view. Okay, does that help?
Yes.
Okay, so now we've got that. This is pretty much built. Okay, didn't take that long, and again, it's using this information. And I can even do this and take a look, and there is my bathroom right there, looking pretty good there. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. And then from there, what I could do is I could continue on, and I could go ahead and I could then put on a roof, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to go and put on a roof. So put on a roof, I would go out here. Now, at this point, I'm seeing all this right here, and it might be getting in my way. So I can hide it. Okay, and when you want to hide,
You're not
something,
sharing your screen. I don't
I'm
think.
not really. Oh, okay. It got adjusted. Okay, let me go back to here. So let me try this. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is over here. I'm looking at level 1 right now. So I got 3D view 1 here. I got 3D view here, and I got this. And when I go here, I've got this this CAD information underneath. Now I might or I might not want that, but when I'm done with it, I can either unlink it or I can just hide it. To hide it, you just do this. You can go ahead and click, and anywhere you go ahead and drag your cursor where it lights up like that, that's your CAD plan, okay? So to hide it, you can just simply right-click, and you can go to Hide in View, and then you can choose the elements or the category. In this case, you can choose the elements. So you hide that in view, and that's gone. Okay, so we're looking good now. We're looking good. Last thing we're going to do, second to last, we're going to put on a roof. So go roof and roof by footprint. Okay, so to do this, we're going to, yes, move it to level 2. And what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to make the overhang 1 foot. Okay, just to use something real simple. I'm going to use everything defining a slope, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick these walls. And again, I'm going along here and just touching them using the default, which is right here, which is actually picking walls. And that allows me to just use what I've created, and it becomes the basis for me to create this. I hit my green check mark, and let's see what I've got in view there. So go to 3D. And it looks like this here, which is not exactly what I wanted, so I have to clean it up a little bit, but it gives me a roof. It gives me a roof right there. And so if I were to click on this roof, this is where I could change it to be like here, the wood rafter, asphalt insulator right there that we talked about. And again, this is showing up white, not showing any shingles. But what I want to do is I want to go to here, and I want to go to my managing. Again, you guys should look fine with this. I'm just doing this because mine's screwed up. And I'm going to go here and change my shingles so they show up a little bit better. And again, you won't have to be doing this part. You should show up fine. If they don't show up, let me know. I'm not going to grade you down for that. Just want to make it clear that what we're doing here is there's a method to all this madness here. And I'm going down here. I'm going to make my sample size 10 feet. And we'll do that. So done. Apply. And okay. And now you'll see that your shingles look like that. And if I go to realistic, that is realistic, huh? Okay, so that's all I got right there. Interesting. Let me look underneath it, see if it's applied.
How do you get the roof on top of like the doorway? I'm having issues with it.
Well, all I did was I just from the level 2 view, I just went ahead and picked the walls and went along there, and it generated it automatically. So if you're having errors, I'm not going to troubleshoot the errors right now, but we will go ahead and I'll go ahead and show this again. But the thing is, but you go ahead and do this. Now at this point, what I've got going on right now is I want it to look like this right here. I want it to look like this one, where I actually have these elements in place right here. Where I actually have this kind of a look right here, where I've got this roof and I've got this. So I want a gabled roof, and I want a gabled roof from end to end. So I want to take the slope off the far ends and move from there. So I'll go to here, and I want to go, and I'm going to go to level 2 to edit my roof. You got to be on level 2 to edit the roof, or you can't even see it. But when you can see it, you click on this, and when I click on it, I can then edit the footprint, and this is where I can go here, and I can go ahead and I can uncheck the defined slope on this side, and I can uncheck the defined slope on this side. And on this one at the very front, I want to also do that here. So I'm going to go ahead uncheck the defined slope there. So I'm gonna uncheck it in those 3 locations, and then I hit my green check mark. And let's see how we did there. I think it's gonna look better now. So go there, and that's what it looks like right there. That's what I got going on there. And then we talked about this before. If I click on this right here, I want to change the roof pitch to 5 by 12. It's a 512. That's run to rise right there. So 5 to 12 like that. And it's going to bring the roof down. And then I click on the wall, attach top to that. And then I flip this around and do the same thing here. Attach top. And we got that. So that is a basic house. Oh, there's a couple places here. Looks like this has to go up too. So I'll go ahead and do this. And right there, attach top like that. And it looks like we got some over here too. So I'm going to click on that and attach top. All right, and then over here as well. I think that's all connected, actually. Looks like it's good. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're all connected there. All right, so that's all connected. Oh, looks like it's not. Right up here. So this is just part of a little cleanup you got to do sometimes. So I'll go here and attach it. And so there are sometimes some things that don't quite show up. You got to do a little bit of investigation, make sure you're seeing everything. And yeah, let's get another one right over here. There's another right there. So click on that one and click on this wall and attach it to that. All right, and it fills that up. Okay, now once I've got that in place right there, what we're going to do then is we're going to put in a floor. Floor can go in on level 1. Okay, so the floor, we go to architecture, and we're just going to put in a 12-inch concrete generic floor. So go here, and that's the default floor generic 12 inches. And for this one, I'm just going to pick my rectangle. I'm going to pick a point here and pick a point here. Actually, you know what? I can't do that. I can't use that. So I will use, go ahead and pick my my lines, my walls rather, and I'm going to pick my walls, and this should give me a decent floor. Get my green check mark. Let's see how it looks. And when we do that, boom, we are done. And that is how we go ahead and put that together. So those are the steps that we go through to create this one right here. And that is starting with with the template that I give you. And then you would go ahead, and once you've created the template, you would go ahead and you bring in the floor plan. And then after that, you go through tracing it over like I did there. And so you go through these different steps. So that's what I've got for you guys for tonight. So that is what you have, and that is what it's due for next week. That's what's due for next week. So again, it's going to look like this. Might look more like this one over here, depending upon you know, what you actually have going on. But that's what you're going to have right there. So that's what the structure is going to look like. That's what I expect to be handed in, and that's what's going to happen there. So we're getting done a little early tonight. That's all I'm going to have for this right now, as far as for the lecture, because that is going to take some time to do that, and it may take some troubleshooting. So as I always do, I'm just going to stop